BookTube, my name is Nadine and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do the no disclaimers book tag. Yes, I know it's not Tuesday, but I've had a week, believe me. So I was tagged in this by AJ Dunn Reads and Writes. I'll link it down below. I was planning on filming this earlier in the week, but as I say, it has been one of those weeks we've had the car in the garage, and then my son was sent home to isolate for 2 weeks, and then the following day my daughter was sent home from her preschool to isolate for 2 weeks. So it's been fun. But yeah, let's get on with it. So these questions, some of them are quite tricky actually, and I haven't been able to think of answers for them, so I'm hoping that inspiration strikes as I'm talking. You never know. So first of all then, number one, which trope in books annoys you the most? So yes, the alcoholic detective, I'm over him totally. But also any kind of creative with alcohol or drug problems. It's like, yeah, I know that there have been some well documented writers, etc., who have had alcohol problems, but actually I don't think substance abuse is that conducive to creativity, and it's just kind of a stereotype that I think we could do with getting away from. Like, you don't have to suffer for your art. I don't think that's really the case, and I think the more that we see that kind of thing in books, films, and you know, other media, the more people with happy lives might just shy away from being creative because that's not them. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that I'm kind of done with too. Number two, which writers do you feel is overrated or overhyped? This is going to be really unpopular. I have a weird relationship with this writer. I've read 2 books by her, and I rated them both highly because I do understand that looking at them critically, they're very, very good books, and you know, they've got this wonderful message, and they're very well written. I just happen to find them boring myself. But yeah, all right. So please don't hate me. It's Virginia Woolf. I don't know. I've read these 2, Mrs. Dalloway and Orlando. I had to study this one for uni, and as I say, extremely well written. It just was a bit of a slog at times. I do like her diaries. I dip in and out of those on my Kindle. That's really enjoyable, but just her novels, there's just something that never quite fully engages me. I do still have To the Lighthouse in my TBR to read. So if you've read this, you know, let me know if it is worth picking up, or if I should just say it's over. Number 3, what are your least favourite books you've read since joining BookTube? So again, this was quite a tricky one because I had started a BookTube channel quite a while back, but I kind of think of that as a false start and not real at all. So for me, my BookTube career has just been the last few months. But the one that I like the least in this period has been Megan Hunter's The Harpy, which I'd heard lots of good things about, and I just found it pretentious. It was about a woman who found out her husband had been cheating on her with a colleague, and I just kind of found her very intellectually full of herself, and I don't know, I didn't like any of the people in the book, and it made it quite difficult for me to care, really. Number 4, what is a terrible ending that ruined an otherwise quality book? It's difficult because I think when there's been bad endings, it's kind of been that kind of level throughout. So the only one that's really sticking in my mind is the final Wayward Pines book by Blake Crouch. There was just something about the ending there. But you know, I'd gone on this journey for 3 books. And there's just something about the ending that was kind of, oh, that's it then. But yeah, that's it. It wasn't a terrible ending. It didn't ruin the experience for me, but that's the only one I can really think of. Number 5. Which fictional characters do you wish was not killed off? I don't know. Granny Weatherwax and Discworld. That made me sad. But otherwise, I think generally, you know, there's lots of times where you feel sad that they're dead, but it has its place in the story. So, but yeah, the Granny Weatherwax dying was quite sad. But I don't know if that's because I was also quite sad about Terry Pratchett dying. Number 6, what are some of your bookish pet peeves? If you come into a break room and I'm sat reading my book, don't sit at the same table and start talking to me. I will always say hello and how are you and stuff, but it's, you know, I don't really want to know. That's awful. There are plenty of times where we can like chat, but if I'm reading, come on. Anything else? No, I haven't got a problem with like people writing in their books and things like that. I think that's just one way that some people kind of communicate with the story. Dog earrings kind of unnecessary, but your books you go. No, I'm easygoing, pretty easygoing. I don't think I've got any. What are some books you feel should have more recognition? This is one that I was really hoping I would get a burst of inspiration from. I don't hear Grady Hendrix spoken about too much, and I like. Let me grab it. It may have been spoken about loads and I've just missed it, but I love this book like so much. This was a 5-star read for me, but I never really hear it mentioned, and I love the cover. I love like it's an 80s VHS. That's cool. No, that's all I can think of. And finally, number 8, what are your thoughts on censorship and banning books? No. I think most things have their place. It's just a case of understanding the context, you know, when they were written, and society at the time. You know, sometimes you might just need a little bit of background knowledge. So maybe more guidance with things that could be offensive, but I don't think, for the most part, I don't think things should be censored or banned. No. There is one book that I'm thinking of that I really, really hate, but I will talk about that in another tag video, the effed up books tag, which I'll have next week. So yeah, that's it. I'm not going to tag anybody in this because it's taken me so long to get to it. I think the whole of BookTube has done this already, but if you haven't and you want to, then go for it. Consider yourself tagged. But that is it from me today, and I will speak to you again soon. Goodbye.